friends, welcome back to the Craft Castle. My name is Ashley, and generally in the Craft Castle we are doing Cricut projects or laser projects, but today we're going to be doing something completely different. And this one is going to be so much fun because you actually don't even need a special piece of equipment in order to make the most beautiful handmade gift. So today what we're going to be doing is making photo coasters. Do you see these right here? These turned out freaking phenomenal. And fun little fact, these family pictures are pictures I actually took myself. We're going to get into how in the world I did this, but oh my gosh, this right here is a cheap, really cheap, fun craft, and it ends up looking absolutely phenomenal. This is a perfect gift if you're looking for a Mother's Day gift. That said, the supplies that you're going to need for this project is just your pictures printed out. You're going to need some white tiles that you can find at any hardware store for, these are like $1. Then you're going to need some adhesive cork. The other special thing that you're going to need is this stuff right here. It's called Maker's Magic. Have you heard of this stuff? I'll link all the supplies in the description of this video so you don't have to jot everything down. So just know everything's going to be linked. But let's talk about Maker's Magic here for a second. So have you ever dealt with Mod Podge before, like the actual name brand Mod Podge? I have, and the one thing that I don't like about it is that it dries cloudy. Every single time I've used that stuff, it is dried cloudy. Now, I have been testing this stuff out. I have made so many projects with this, and I am in freaking love. This right here, this bottle, literally liquid gold. It's absolutely amazing. So you are going to see in future videos, I'm going to be using a whole lot of this because I have fallen in love with this glue. Seriously. That being said, let's look at the finished product of this. Absolutely amazing. And these pictures were printed on regular copy paper. So it was like the worst quality paper ever. And the finished product is absolutely amazing. And that's because the Maker's Magic is absolutely amazing. So you put something absolutely amazing onto your products, you're bound to get great results. I am so freaking excited. Now let's talk about how in the world did I create my own family pictures. Fun little fact, my daughter is 18 and I have never once gotten family pictures. So for Mother's Day a couple years back, I had told my husband the one thing that I wanted was to go out into our front yard. Yes, these pictures were taken in my front yard. And I just wanted to set up my video camera, or if you don't have a video camera, just take out your phone and put it on record at the highest setting, and then just stand in front of it. Act goofy. You want to hold poses. It's going to be the most awkward 5 minutes of your life. Yes, it's 5 minutes. It's what it took to get all the pictures that I need. So then when you go and do the recording and you stand in front of it and you do those awkward little poses, what ends up happening is you have a video that what you can do is replay it. And whenever you see a picture or a pose that you like, you just take a screenshot of it on your phone. And I know like this process sounds absolutely crazy, but if you don't have the funds or the time to go and get family pictures, this is like perfect for you. I mean, it is for me. So then after you get done doing all your screenshots, what you can do at that point is you can just do all your photo edits like you normally would, and then you just print them. Now I have a photo gallery wall in my living room of all the family pictures that I have. And then also I've made these really fun coasters. So if you are looking for just a really quick little gift to do, go out to your front yard, set up your camera, and just press record and have a lot of fun with your pictures. Then you can make really cool gifts like this. All right, y'all, I'm done talking your ear off. Now let's go and make our photo coasters. Okay, the first thing you're going to need is your pictures printed. Now, I just use standard copy paper for this project. The reason for that is I want it to be really thin paper. So when we put it onto the white tiles, it's not going to lift after we start using them. And I made these the exact size of my coasters. So these are 4 1/4 inch squares. Then what you're going to need is just a pair of scissors, or if you have a paper cutting guillotine thing like this, you can use this too. And what you want to do is cut your pictures to size that you are going to need for your tiles. When you have all your pictures cut out, then you can just put away your cutter or your scissors, whatever it is that you're using. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to need are these white tiles. These are shiny. They came from Home Depot. Lowe's also has them too. Practically any hardware store has them. But you're just going to need some white square tiles. And don't worry about the backside. We're going to cover that with our cork. But you just want to grab one of your tiles. And then you're going to grab a paintbrush. You're going to want this to be a really large bristled paintbrush so you can get minimal brush strokes. Then what we're going to do is take our Maker's Magic and we are just going to brush on a light coat of this onto our tile. Just brush a very light coat of it onto our tile. You don't want to drown your tile, but you just want enough on there to where your picture is going to stick. On that note, this stuff right here is meant for little use. So little goes a long way when you're using this stuff. Then what you want to do is kind of let this dry a little bit so it starts to get tacky. So now that I've let it dry for a little bit, it does feel a little sticky to the touch. When you're about there, then what you want to do is take your picture and you want to line up one corner. And then we're just going to flatten this down with our hands, pressing our picture down, making sure that we don't have any air bubbles. Okay, and then for mine, I have a little bit of hangover right here on my tile. So all I'm going to do is turn this over. I'm going to put my tile onto a cruddy mat that I have just so I don't ruin my table. And I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm just going to make sure this is sharp, and you want to just cut off the excess of that paper. Okay, this is what the tile is going to look like now that you have that covered. You can see on the sides, it looks really good. If you have any type of hangover like this, you want to make sure that you're either A, push it down really hard onto your sides, or B, you want to trim off the excess so you don't have anything hanging over. You just want to make sure that it doesn't get a chance to be able to lift. Okay, so when you're done doing that, what you want to do is take a little bit more of this Maker's Magic and doing nice long strokes like we did before. You just want to take a little bit and we are going to paint this onto our paper. And you can see that even though I used like really crappy copy paper for this, that the colors are being brought out because of this Maker's Magic stuff. So you can tell there's a huge difference when you put this stuff on. And you don't need a whole lot of this stuff, so a little bit goes a long way. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to lift up my tile and I'm going to paint my sides, making sure that I go over my paper and hugging it back through the side of the tile. That way you're just sealing the edges too, so no moisture can get in between your piece of paper and your tile. So after you're done painting the top and the sides, what you want to do is let this dry. Maker's Magic takes an hour to dry. There's a 48-hour cure time, but essentially in an hour, you're going to be able to handle this. We're going to let this sit for an hour to dry, and then we're going to put the cork on the back side of the tiles. That being said, what you can do is just do all the other photos that you're wanting to use for your tiles. Okay, you're going to want your pictures to be dry enough to where you can put your fingers on it and it's not going to be tacky. And then you are going to take some of your cork that you have. Now the cork that I bought has like a sticky backing to it. So all you want to do is peel the backing off. And you're going to put your coaster onto the stickiness of that cork. And you can see how I have extra edges everywhere because I am going to take my X-Acto knife. I'm going to trim out excess right here. It's okay that it's messy. Very first thing I'm going to do is really push down hard onto my cork, making sure that we get a nice adhesion to the coaster. This is why I want you to wait until your pictures are nice and dry, because we are going to be pushing really hard down onto here. And you want to make sure that you don't ruin your pictures as you rub really hard. So I am just pushing down real hard on the entire thing. We want to make sure that it's nice and stuck on there. It's not going to come up. Then we're going to go around all the edges, making sure that it's nice and stuck on there. Okay, before we do anything more to this coaster, I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to do the same thing I did with this one. Now, the sheets that I got, you're only going to be able to fit 2 of these on a page. So you're going to have a lot left over, but you can save the cork for another project, you know? So we're just going to trim. And then once you have it trimmed, we're going to turn this around and we are going to press down, doing the same thing we did with the first one, making sure that it's nice and stuck on there. You can tell that this right here is not very stuck on there, and this is because it's like really just stuck in. You have all the grooves of the tile on the back. That's perfect. So you can totally tell when you have put this down enough because you are making the cork go into the grooves of this entire thing. We are going to make this good and stuck on there. No one's going to be able to peel this off. What a difference, right? Okay, do that for all your coasters. All right, so when you have them nice and stuck on there, what you want to do is take your X-Acto knife and you want to trim up the excess cork, just like what we did with that picture frame. You're going to want to trim off the excess cork. This is why I wanted to make a extra, is because you're going to get a nice clean line when you do it this way. And having a good bit of extra is easier to cut off versus a very small piece. It tends to want to snag and start to look ugly. Look at how clean and crisp those edges are. Okay, then you're going to do that for all of the coasters that you are making. All right, y'all. I sure hope that you thought this craft was super easy and a lot of fun to do. I also hope that you've fallen in love with Maker's Magic just like me, because I'm telling you right now, it is way better than Mod Podge. I hope I inspired you to create, y'all, and I'll see you later.